Hey everybody, Gears here, and new airbrush is now in hand. Hooray. This is my old one. It's been with me 15 years probably. Going into painting this dome here, this was already had a few strikes against it. Years ago I had taken the front shroud off. You can see that right there on this one. Misplaced it, gone, fine. You can work around it. It's not a big deal. It does protect the end from damage, but how often does that happen, right? So over the years, the tip got bent a little, the needle, fine. You can work around that, no problem. Over the years, lost the O-ring here, fine. It leaks, you can work around it. So there's 3 strikes right there. And then years and years ago, because I wanted access to the needle all the time, I just removed this. I'm surprised that hasn't gone away all this time now. Nice thing about this one here is you have access right there, and that was definitely a big selling point. The other selling point on this was getting the extra needles and nozzles. $40 shipped just about off eBay. TCP Global is the company. They're not paying me, but I've always gone to them for my airbrush and some other art needs, so they've definitely been a great company to get stuff from. I've never had a problem with them, and probably a few $100s overall of sales over the years, decades, really. Nearly 20 years I've been buying from them off eBay. So I'm looking forward to doing this, and I wouldn't have necessarily gotten a new airbrush right away, but while I was painting this, even with all those deficits going into it, I got the chrome down pretty good, but then I was about to go to the silver, and when I switched from the chrome to the silver bottles, or the chrome to the red bottles, I put the airbrush down, the hose unwound itself, unflexed, threw the airbrush to the ground. Not only did it do that though, it crushed the nozzle and cracked it, and probably bent the tip a little more. It's tough to say. So that was the end of it. But even going with all those deficits, I managed to at least get some red on here, just to have some red on here. And most of it is pretty good. However, I did get a few drops. And it's those little drops, especially something nightmare like that, that make this paint job worthless, no matter how good it looks. But I think I want to paint onto a solid white rather than a chrome for the red to give it even more pop. It kind of disappears a little too easily for my tastes. So part of that, and to that end, is making up this paint chart here. I have 6 colors on hand. So what I've done here is we have gloss white and alclad chrome on top of alclad gloss black on top of normal primer. And as well for that, this is also a lacquer, I should note, as well as these are. Lacquers do go on enamels fine enough, but never put an enamel on the lacquer. So with the test here, each background base color has 4 different slots, and you can see how good I'm at separating them evenly. Each one will represent an additional pass. So first pass, block that one off. Second pass, block these 2 off on both sides. Third pass, block these 3 off on both sides. And then a 4th pass for this one corner. All the way down, 1 for each color. I'm going to use all these pieces of wood as masks, essentially. So the edges will be a little sloppy. But rather than putting tape down and risking damaging the paint, because I'm going to do this very fast and quickly. Lacquers dry almost instantly, but that doesn't mean they're cured. However, layering something like these little pieces of wood over it loosely won't damage the paint. Up here we got our contenders. Starting with Candy Ruby Red, we're going to Candy Red, over to Candy Orange, Candy Golden Yellow, Candy Emerald Green, and then Candy Cobalt Blue. If you're painting R2-D2, this is the color you want. It goes black when it's dark, and it goes really soft light blue when it's very bright out. Very nice. So this should give us a nice color variant, red going into orange, yellow, and yellow going into green from blue. Oh, hey, and also I don't have room for it on that color chart there, but I brought my metals over, and I have some holomatic, so I'll be doing some samples of that. Longtime viewers know about this guy. This is a model chip chart that I made. It's been 2014. Look at that. That is 12 years ago now, and it has been neglected, exposed to dust and all sorts of other contaminants, all in the open, uncared for, and it is definitely tarnished. So someday this may get a repaint, but it's a really good way to look at all the different colors and how they interact with the light. Even as damaged as this paint job is, you can see the subtlety of what's going on and how these really flip around. And of course these guys here are no different. And I do have some Rust-Oleums for comparisons. So getting a new one of these would probably be easier than stripping this, but I could always try and strip this too sometime. I'm not going to do any painting with the metals, but I do need to take some numbers down so I know which bottles I need to get. I'm definitely out of steel and I need some of that. And I'm thinking for my dome, I'm either going white aluminum. There's also an aircraft aluminum, which is not represented here, but I think that is going to be the one that I want. The white aluminum just has a really good shine overall. And it's definitely the brightest out of all of them, next to regular aluminum. Yeah, wow, 7 minutes of this video already. I guess this is going to be multi-part. So stay tuned for the next video where we start doing some spray paint tests. Thanks for watching. See ya.